Just ahead on CTV News.
Today is election day, and voters across the county will decide who will be the next leader of Prince George's.
Plus, we catch up with Senator Alsobrooks about her time in Congress. And
here in Forestville, the students at Longfields Elementary School got a special guest to visit them today. I'm Bryce Parker. We'll tell you who that is coming up on CTV News.
Those stories and more on CTV News, starting now.
Good evening, this is CTV News for June 3rd. I'm Michaela Newton. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, the clock is ticking for voters to cast their ballots in the county special general election. What's on the ballot this time is the job for county executive. CTV's Katara Jones is in Brandywine with more.
Today is election day, and voters across the county will decide who will be the next leader of Prince George's.
I'm kind of optimistic. I want to make sure that whoever's placed in this position do what they say.
Residents in Prince George's are making their way to one of the county's 9 voting centers to cast their ballot for county executive. In this special election race, voters will have to pick between Democrat Aisha Braveboy or Republican Jonathan White. CTV chatted with Braveboy at the Southern Area Aquatics and Recreation Complex, which is one of the county's polling locations.
There's an overwhelming number of Democrats voting, not as many, let's say, Republicans voting or independents. We are a Democratic town. The majority of our residents are registered Democrats, and so they're coming out in full force. My candidacy is about unifying this county, about ensuring that our tax dollars are used efficiently and effectively.
Whoever wins this race will serve the rest of former county executive Angela Alsobrooks' term, who left her post to join the U.S. Senate. Many voters we spoke to in Brandywine say they are supporting Braveboy.
I'm hopeful that Aisha Braveboy will win. I think she's a formidable candidate to be able to handle the position.
She's doing things that's going to impact the county and the people of Prince George County. So that's why she got my vote, you know. And I've seen her record and I analyze it, and I'm proud to say I voted for her.
I think that she has some good values to bring from her prior position, and just hoping she'll step up to the plate.
Election officials say polls across the county close at 8 p.m. Katara Jones, CTV News.
All right, Katara, thanks so much. Meanwhile, for residents that live in District 5, they will also vote to determine who will represent them on the county council. The candidates include Democrat Shayla Adams Stafford and Republican Fred Price Jr. And tonight, a first in Maryland's 2026 congressional race. Republican Jordan Eversley, running in Maryland's 5th district, is the first candidate in his race to sign the U.S. term limits pledge. The national nonprofit is pushing a constitutional amendment to cap service in Congress to 3 terms in the House and 2 in the Senate. Eversley joins a growing national movement, now 286 congressional candidates strong for 2026, including just one other in Maryland, Neil Parrott in District 6. A new poll shows 87% of Americans support term limits. Eversley says it's about putting the people first and putting an end to politics as usual. And taking office in January, Maryland Senator Angela Alsobrooks has sponsored or co-sponsored at least 70 pieces of legislation, including most recently a resolution designated this Friday as National Gun Violence Awareness Day. Other measures she signed on to including a bill to regulate assault weapons, a bill to reauthorize the Second Chance Act of 2007, and a measure to improve family and medical leave for military families. CTV recently caught up with Alsobrooks, who told us her time in the Senate has had some challenges.
Because of the cruelty of the administration. I live in a state where we have a large number of federal employees who have lost employment, many of whom don't know when they show up in their offices whether or not that's the last day for their employment, that they have worked, many of them for decades, serving the American people. We've seen recently with this latest budget that's come out, the cuts that will happen surely to Medicaid, that many of our disabled children rely on, many of our seniors who are in nursing facilities rely on it, the cuts also to nutritional programs like SNAP. So these are devastating, very, very devastating times, but I'm honored to serve Marylanders.
Alsobrooks sits on a number of Senate committees, including the Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs Committee. Well, District 1 Council member Tom Darnoga says he's working to make sure the people's voice is being heard. Darnoga says council passed a zoning ordinance last year that said citizens have no legal right to challenge zoning legislation. The matter was taken to court in the case Bartholomew versus County Council. In her ruling, Judge Denise Roll rejected the argument that citizens had no legal right and that council improperly made a last-minute amendment in violation of required procedure. The judge's written order is expected later this month. And Prince George's County officially kicked off Pride Month with a flag-raising ceremony hosted by County Council Vice Chair Crystal Oriatha. The second annual event celebrated both progress and purpose, spotlighting the council's efforts to support the LGBTQ+ community. Supporters, allies, and local leaders gathered to recognize how far the county has come and the work still ahead. For the first time, the county budget includes dedicated funding aimed at addressing key health disparities within the LGBTQ+ population.
The most new cases of HIV and AIDS historically have always been in the south central part of the county, but most of the resources when it comes to HIV and AIDS with the health department have been on the north part of the county. So for the first time, we're going to have 3 days a week where there'll be resources on the south part of the county. So we're just trying to be very intentional by making sure the resources are where they're needed the most.
And as Pride Month continues, county leaders say they're committed not to just celebration, but to continue progress and equity. And Maryland Attorney General Anthony Brown has joined 20 other attorneys general in a lawsuit targeting another Trump administration policy. The brief, filed in U.S. Court of Appeals for the 9th District, argues that Trump's ban on transgender military service members violates the Constitution and will weaken the armed forces. The brief was filed in the case of Schilling versus Trump. Transgender Navy Commander Emily Schilling has served in the military for over 20 years and has flown more than 60 combat missions. And the Supreme Court is leaving Maryland's assault weapons ban in place, at least for now. On Monday, justices declined to take up a challenge to the decade-old law, despite pushback from conservatives on the bench. Justice Clarence Thomas called the case critically important for AR-15 owners and said the court's been avoiding the issue for years. Justices Alito and Gorsuch agreed it was worth hearing, while Kavanaugh said the court might take it up soon as similar cases move through lower courts. Maryland officials, meanwhile, are calling it a win. And the Maryland Department of Health sees another departure from a top official. Dr. Nilesh Kalyanaraman says the State Department of Health's Deputy Secretary of Public Health Services is leaving his post effective today. He has been with the department for 2 years. Prior to working for the state, he was the health officer for Anne Arundel County from September of 2019 to March of 2023. His departure makes him the 4th top-level official with the Maryland Department of Health to leave this year. And after a month of May that brought showers and cool temperatures, summer seems to be coming around the corner. This week, temperatures could hit the low 90s in the D.C. metro area as early as Thursday. Unfortunately, showers will return this weekend, but Wednesday through Friday, you should soon be seeing or being able to enjoy the heat. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Michaela Newton. Still to come, a pharmaceutical company recently got the green light for a new vaccine. After the break, find out if you're eligible and when it'll be ready. Stay with us.
You gotta believe without seeing. You gotta keep going, keep breathing. When you face a day that feels like you're gonna break, you gotta believe without seeing. You gotta keep going, keep breathing. When you face a day that feels like you're gonna break, so lean on the ones that love you, the guardian angels above you, and think about when peace just another color. Ooh, just another color. Just another color.
Welcome back. Michael Owen Jr. and Jerron Taylor, both former police officers, pled guilty to a federal insurance fraud scheme between August 2018 and February 2020 while working for Prince George's and Anne Arundel police departments. They conspired with others to commit mail and wire fraud by having insurance companies cover the cost of unwanted vehicles. Owen faces up to 20 years in prison. Taylor faces up to 3. And sentencing is set for September 23rd. And over the weekend, multiple car rallies were stopped by the Maryland Car Rally Task Force. Law enforcement started dismantling the rallies on Sunday shortly before 10 p.m. It included 5 large-scale illegal events in Lanham, Upper Marlboro, Capitol Heights, Beltsville, and Linthicum Heights. Each of the rallies included crowds of up to 400 people engaging in exhibition driving, disorderly behavior, and roadway shutdowns. Right now, there are no reports of if any arrests were made. And a special guest visited Longfields Elementary School in Forestville today to join an educational roundtable. CTV's Bryce Parker has more.
The importance of education was on full display here at Longfields Elementary School. One of the things that the governor mentioned in the roundtable discussion was that when you get education right, everything else is just details.
This is a special time. It's an important time for our state. But more importantly, it's because it's an important time for our kids.
Greeted by Longfield's rendition of Don't Nobody Bring Me No Bad News, Governor Moore came to celebrate, collaborate, and gather information on what can be done to nurture the leaders of tomorrow.
We know that the work you're doing here can never be captured by these walls. The benefit of what you are doing is so far outstripping the community, the county, the state, the country. Like, these are kids that are literally going to change our world.
Longfields is set to lead the county in both English language arts and math, part of the reason why local leadership chose this as the location for today's educational roundtable.
This school is just a real embodiment of all the momentum and the progress that we are seeing here, but this real belief that, progress doesn't happen by accident. It takes intentionality, it takes leadership, it takes focus, it takes partnership, it takes amazing educators.
The strides here that have occurred are a major, major difference maker. And of course, the support from the blueprint that has happened at Longfield made a major difference in terms of the supports and academic success that we had.
We have some phenomenal kids here at the school. We have phenomenal staff here at this school. And so making sure that we have the right type of investment, the right type of outreach that's happening here, it's amazing.
Some of the topics addressed today included teacher pay, the educator shortage, and the further implementation of the blueprint for Maryland's future, with confidence that the leadership of Governor Moore and Prince George's County local officials can get the job done.
I think through his actions, he cares deeply about what's happening in our schools as it relates to our blueprint for Maryland's future, as well as I think beyond as we continue to think about the future and the state of our schools.
It's a complete honor to have the governor come into District 25 in the heart of Forestville and show his dedication to our school system and what we're trying to do and what we want to accomplish.
In Forestville, I'm Bryce Parker, CTV News.
If you enjoyed that small sample of Longfield's performance, they will be presenting their full stage play of The Wiz on Friday. Well, the University of Maryland is taking to the skies to help fight wildfires around the globe. A team of researchers is developing autonomous drone technology aimed at stopping fires before they rage out of control. According to a recent United Nations report, extreme wildfires are on the rise. The group is working on designing drones capable of detecting and suppressing wildfires before people know they've started. And then a joint meeting with the Maryland delegation and Maryland Department of Transportation this morning. Representatives from MDOT provided information regarding the proposed expansion by the Virginia Department of Transportation of I-495 from Springfield to Oxon Hill into southern Prince George's County. Maryland officials expressed concerns that VDOT is plowing ahead without adequately addressing their issues, specifically on traffic analysis, transit commitments, and preserving space for a future Metro Rail.
Obviously, if they don't change their sort of mode of operation, we'll deal with that in September when a vote comes, right? And we'll be working again hand in glove with you all and the Senate side as well, and the local side as well. We've met with Southern Maryland, for instance, as well, because this is a big issue for all of us.
Meanwhile, Governor Wes Moore is putting more money behind Maryland's growing cannabis industry, announcing a new round of grants to support small businesses and entrepreneurs. It's the fourth round of funding through the state's Cannabis Business Assistance Fund, with this one focused on new social equity licenses chosen in last year's lottery. Moore says the goal is to boost equity and economic growth across the board and that the impacts will be felt statewide. And Moderna just got the green light from the FDA for a lower dose COVID vaccine. It's approved for folks 65 and older and for anyone 12 and up with certain health conditions. The catch, you've got to have had a COVID shot before. Now, Moderna says it should be ready for this fall's virus season, and they're also working on an updated version to target a newer variant. That one's still waiting on FDA approval. And still to come on CTV News, a new scam is targeting Maryland drivers through text messages. After the break, find out how and what MVA has to say about it.
We are women first, but women with disabilities last.
During a military exercise, we crashed and I broke my neck.
When I was in the Air Force, an accident changed my life. I couldn't have imagined the injustices I would face.
Every day, women like me go to the doctor for annual checkups for conditions like breast cancer. Early detection saved my life. But women with disabilities face a cruel reality: inaccessible medical facilities and equipment.
In the 25 years since my injury, I have not seen a gynecologist. There's not one accessible OBGYN in my community.
I found lumps in my breast. I went to a doctor's office I was told was accessible, but when I got there, I couldn't get through the front door.
I don't know where I'd be today without access to testing. Our veterans deserve better. Help PVA fight for access at pva.org.
If words were enough, I would help you bear your burden. I would watch each child of yours grow strong and true. Teach them to read and to write and to sing, so that their voices be forgotten nevermore. If words were enough, I would sate your hunger, and you would know you are my sister, my brother, my child. If words were enough.
It's so hard to predict a sick kid who just keep getting sicker, but we needed to be together as a family. My family is my entire life. My family means the world to me.
When we're together and we have support from Ronald McDonald House, we can be a little stronger. They provide food and a place to rest your head, and they will help you through every step. That's what gets you through every day when you don't know how else you're gonna make it.
It makes you feel like you're not alone.
When I first met you, I had a newborn son, and throughout that process, you introduced yourself into my life.
The tremors, the body shakes, those things I'll never forget.
You're in my brain, you're in my spine, and because you're in those places, you're in every part of me.
When I got the MRI, I was like, that's a shocking turn. I'm not supposed to live with the mess.
So these tears is actually joy because of all the things I can do.
I became stronger the moment you told me that I'd never be strong again.
If I can face MS, I can face anything.
A cure for me would be to go back to where I was.
A cure would stop you dead in your tracks.
And when we get you, it's going to be a great day.
We gotta end this cycle. It ends here.
MS ends with us.
A new text scam is looking to take advantage of Maryland drivers. Drivers are receiving texts from scammers pretending to be the Maryland Motor Vehicle Administration, demanding payment for outstanding tickets. In response, MVA has made a statement that they will never demand payment via text and advise Marylanders not to click on any suspicious links they receive. And one Maryland organization is celebrating its graduating class of women who completed a program preparing them to run for public office. Emerge Maryland is an organization with a mission to transform politics and advance representation through Democratic women. This cohort went through a 6-month program, learning the tools to run for public office. This year's class included 14 women, including 2 from Prince George's. Applications for the June 2026 cohort are set to open this month, but for more information, visit www.emergemaryland.org. And the U.S. Department of Agriculture has issued a public health alert for a frozen ham croquette product. The alert is due to misbranding and undeclared allergens. The product is labeled as not ready to eat and may pose a risk to people with food allergies. Consumers are urged to check their freezers and follow any guidance from the USDA. And it's time for another Metro Minute. We want to first congratulate 4 high school seniors from the county who each received $2,500 in scholarships from the Prince George's Realtors Association. So congratulations to Brianna, Layla, Tamira, and Chelsea. And speaking of scholars, a new report ranks which Maryland school districts have the best teachers for 2025. Prince George's County Public Schools received a C- based on student and parent ratings of teachers, teacher salaries, and student-teacher ratio. Meanwhile, Elk Ridge-based company Yellow Dumpster Service has officially expanded its operations across the county. The expansion allows homeowners, contractors, and businesses across the region to benefit from the company's streamlined dumpster rental process. Plus, it's Gemini season, and Wendy's is celebrating the birthday of fellow Ohio-based company Goodyear Blimp's 100th birthday. For today only, the fast food chain is offering a free Frosty to those who make a purchase. And still to come on CTV News, Simon Buggs is here with our Tuesday Sports page.
Stay right there, sports fans, because I have some high school summer league basketball highlights coming your way after the break.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
Bro, you gotta stop with that depression stuff.
Escúchame, en esta casa los hombres no lloran.
You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
Thanks for hearing me out, bro. Appreciate it.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad. Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
It's cancer.
My opponent is completely disregarding almost half of my arguments which I responded to.
Communities must step up.
Laws
and
alone
protest
cannot
against this
stop a bully.
normalization.
Well,
I completely disagree.
Point of inquiry, do you guys even realize that the #1 killer of children and teens are gun injuries?
You're probably starting to realize now, this is not a debate.
There is no adult in this earth that wants children to die.
I worry for my kids.
Okay, everyone, it's finally here. We begin your Tuesday sports page with some basketball news as Summer League Hoops is in full swing, and last night the DeMatha High School boys team hosted Laurel. In the first half, the Stags got off to a good start as plays like forward Jared Jeffers showing nice hustle with this putback layup after the missed three-pointer by his teammate, and guard Issa Camp picking Dame Durham's pocket and converting on the transition layup helped the team jump out to a 17-2 lead. And the lead ballooned even more as DeMatha continued to play solid defense on the Spartans, making it tough for them to get into a flow offensively. But despite being down big in the half, Laurel still had some good moments like a Hakeem Oyakan finishing in traffic after the give and go from his teammate. DeMatha finished strong and was up 58-5 on the Spartans going into the second half. Moving on to the second half, Laurel couldn't stop the bleeding, and Jeffers going to work in the post to give his team another bucket, and two-guard Donovan Wright knocking down the long-range jumper helped keep the Stags out in front the rest of the way. And DeMatha cruised to victory, beating Laurel 91-17. Yeah, definitely not the best showing from Laurel. The Spartans will sit up next against Blake High School on June 9th, while DeMatha will take the court next versus Glenelg on the 9th as well. Meantime, congratulations to former tight end Vernon Davis for being named to the 2026 class for the induction into the College Football Hall of Fame. Davis suited up for UMD from 2003 to 2005. And while he was in College Park, he was named an All-American in 2005, was first-team All-ACC as well, and a finalist for the Mackey Award, which is given to the top tight end in the nation in his final season at Maryland. In his 3 years donning the white and red, Davis compiled 83 catches for 1,371 yards. The D.C. native also played in the NFL for over a decade and earned 2 Pro Bowl selections, a second-team All-Pro nod in 2013, and won a Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos in 2015. Davis also suited up for the Burgundy and Gold from 2016 to 2019. And in WNBA news, the Washington Mystics will try and bounce back from their weekend loss against the New York Liberty in their matchup versus the Indiana Fever tonight. Tip-off is at 7 o'clock. And the Baltimore Orioles will return to action tonight also in their game against the Seattle Mariners. First pitch is at 9:40. And finally, the Washington Nationals will host the Chicago Cubs tonight. The game begins at 6:45. And that is your Tuesday sports page. Simon Buggs, CTV Sports.
All right, Simon, thanks so much. Let's get a look at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, we'll have some hazy skies that should clear up before 11 p.m. Tomorrow, expect more hazy skies. It's going to be 87 degrees. Thursday, it'll be mostly sunny with a high of 87 and a low of 66. Friday will be sunny with a high of 86, but we have a chance of showers after 2 p.m. And for our community calendar this Saturday, Project Live, along with the ARC Prince George's, is hosting the Ready to Be Healthy Youth, Family, Fun, and Fitness Fest. The event is set to be filled with wellness, games, snacks, giveaways, a live DJ, and more. This event takes place from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. For more information, contact the ARC at 301-925-2730. That's all the time we have for CTV News. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a good night.
Experience a golden era of music with Motown Explosion at the Bowie Center for Performing Arts. Sunday, June 8th. Doors open at 2 p.m. For tickets, visit buoycenter.org or call 301-805-6880.
Standing for the cause of liberty is as old as our country itself.
It is the American story, a story of fallible people, united across the generations by grand and enduring ideals.
The time has come to reaffirm our enduring spirit, to carry forward that promise that all are equal and all deserve a chance to pursue their full measure of happiness.